What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment. Uncle KC knew that ratings for the WNBA playoffs were going to be bad. Uncle KC knew that very few people were interested in watching unknown players as they pretended to play basketball, hoping, praying that they would win the WNBA finals so they could secure off-season access to the Platinum Pooper. For those that don't know, the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, she has upgraded the grand prize for the winner of the WNBA finals. Due to the influx of cash that the WNBA has received from uninformed millionaires who spent $250 million to open new dumps that will never turn a profit, with that influx of cash, Kat Engelbert has upgraded the championship prize. The golden toilet has been flushed for the final time. Going forward, the winner of the WNBA finals will now secure off-season access to the Platinum Pooper. Here on the channel, we have spent the last 2 years disproving all the media narratives with the WNBA dump. This league is amazing! Millions of people are watching pretend basketball! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! As you guys know, Caitlin Clark is the only mainstream draw in the WNBA. But to their credit, the mainstream media, they do a phenomenal job polishing this turd. The media does a great job convincing people that the WNBA is exploding in popularity, when the reality is, the success in the WNBA is like the basketball. It's make-believe, it's pretend. What the dump is currently experiencing is the illusion of success. The WNBA reminds me a lot of WCW in the mid to late 90s. When Vince McMahon nationalized the WWF in the 1980s, the WWF was perceived as the premier wrestling company in America, while WCW was always a distant second, a far distant second. Summer 1996, WCW does the unthinkable. They turn Hulk Hogan into a heel, a bad guy. The former I am a real American. The former face of Americana joins the NWO and becomes Hollywood Hogan. It was the biggest storyline in the business. Some will argue that the NWO was the biggest storyline in the history of the business of orchestrated combat. For almost 2 years, WCW dominated the WWF in the ratings. WCW was the most watched show on cable television. They damn near put Vince McMahon and the WWF out of business. But there was just one problem, one tiny problem. Like the WNBA, WCW was simply experiencing the illusion of success. You see, WCW failed to capitalize on the momentum of the NWO. They failed to create new stars. They failed to elevate younger talent. They failed to create mainstream draws. Naturally, the gimmick of the NWO eventually became stale. That's what gimmicks do. They're designed to last for a certain amount of time, and eventually, time runs out. Once the NWO gimmick became stale, WCW had no one else to rely on to carry the entire company. They didn't have anyone else on the roster that was capable of generating mainstream interest. Well, Casey, what about Bill Goldberg? Goldberg wasn't capable of carrying the company because you couldn't risk him being overexposed. Outside of having 5-minute squash matches with Frank Fuckknuckle, Goldberg was pretty much useless. 1998, WCW was generating $200 million in revenue. 3 years later, they were out of business. We're potentially at the genesis of witnessing a similar decline in the WNBA. Last year with Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Felines drew 1.8 million viewers for Game 1 of the playoffs. This past Sunday, no Caitlin Clark, no Sophie Cunningham. This past Sunday, with the biggest star being Bob Griner, who played a grand total of 8 minutes, Felines, Atlanta Dreamers, 951,000 viewers on ABC, a decline of 47% compared to last year. Well, Casey, that is horrific! Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. That was the good news, because it gets much, much worse. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fuel Guys. With modern engines, most people don't realize that fuel additives are not optional, not something that you should be doing every once in a while. With modern engines, fuel additives should be part of your routine to keep your engine running efficiently. For over 40 years, Fuel Guys has specialized in gasoline and diesel treatments. Their products are super concentrated, so one small bottle will last you a while. Fuel Guys treatments are engineered to handle the wide range of problems with today's engines. You don't have to take their word for it. Their website shows real test data proving the effectiveness of their claims. Best part is, Fuel Guys treatment is very easy to use. Every time you get gas, just add 1 ounce of Fuel Guys treatment for every 10 gallons of gas that you get. The long neck here on the bottle fits every tank. It's so simple, even Uncle KC can do it. There's no mess, just complete protection for your engine. So make Fuel Guys part of your routine today by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code FUEL20, FUEL20. Save 20% off your first order with Fuel Guys. Headline at Front Office Sports. Fever ratings fall without Clark, but rest of WNBA Game 1 surge! Surge? Surge. This is the problem with mainstream media coverage of the WNBA dump. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say the media polishes this turd. Front Office Sports didn't lie about WNBA playoff ratings, but they didn't give you the full truth. But don't worry. That's what Uncle KC is for. During the regular season, the WNBA averaged 969,000 viewers for nationally televised games. When this number was released last week, the media was boasting about the success of pretend basketball. These ratings are great! Caitlin Clark missed most of the season. I've been trying to tell you peasants, the WNBA is filled with huge stars! Grab the bleach, because Uncle KC is about to be the party pooper. I have been telling anyone willing to listen that the WNBA was at serious risk of seeing lower ratings during the playoffs than they did during the regular season. The media is claiming that playoff ratings are up 28%, which is true. That's definitely true. But when compared to the regular season, ratings for Game 1 down 46%. The 4 playoff games Sunday averaged 545,000 viewers on ESPN and ABC. Golden State Vikings, Minnesota Lakers. By the way, fun fact about the Golden State Vikings, pretend basketball is so highly respected in the San Francisco Bay Area that the Golden State Vikings, they are forced to play home playoff games in San Jose. Why? They were kicked out of their home arena over something called the Laver Cup. It's a doofus tennis tournament. Vikings Lakers, 680,000 viewers. New York Lesbians and the Phoenix Masculines. Now keep in mind, the New York Lesbians are the defending champs. They took home the Golden Toilet last year, and they are fighting for the inaugural Platinum Pooper. This should be a premier matchup in the WNBA. Think about it. Lesbians versus masculines. Who doesn't want to see that? Apparently, America doesn't want to see that because no one was watching. 481,000 viewers. The finale Sunday night was my personal favorite. The Seattle Spankers against the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces. I always like when Las Vegas plays because it's always fun to play a nice game of guess the face. Unfortunately, I missed my opportunity Sunday night. I was watching my youngest Yorkie, Oreo, eat her own turds in the backyard, so I didn't catch the turds that they were dropping in the WNBA. But check out some of these high-profile stars in Las Vegas. Next time the Anonymous Faces are playing, see if you can put the name with the anonymous face, the name with the player. Check out some of these stars. Jack Young, Dana Evans, Chelsea Gray? Who? And who? I would imagine it's hard to draw an audience when the biggest star between both teams is the coach, Becky Hammon. Maybe that's why only 476,000 people bothered watching. Correct me if I'm wrong here. For the better part of 2 years, the mainstream media has tried to convince us that AJ Wilson was a star. Remember when the media guilted Nike into giving AJ a shoe deal? It's not fair. Caitlin Clark got a shoe deal and the most valuable pretender in the WNBA is still making minimum wage. The media treats A'ja Wilson like a celebrity, and she can't even draw 500,000 viewers to the biggest game of the season up to this point. I'm telling you, this is why the WNBA has been hiding ratings during the regular season. I want you to think about something. I know this has been a busy 2 weeks of news. I know the NFL, college football have started, but that is no excuse. The WNBA playoffs started Sunday. How many of you have heard about it? If you Google ratings for the WNBA playoffs, 1, maybe 2 articles will come up. That's it. Last year, WNBA ratings were one of the biggest stories in the media. This year, with ratings supposedly up 28% over last year, no one is talking about it. Why? Because the media knows it's an illusion. The media knows no one cares. This is a nightmare scenario for WNBA players who are demanding money they haven't earned. I've been telling you guys for years, there was going to come a point when the sympathy money would expire and WNBA players would be expected to perform. That time is now. You want multi-million-dollar contracts? Now is your time to earn it. The Great White Hope is not flying in to save this unbelievably bad product. It's on WNBA players to prove they can draw. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.